Man, oh man, do we have a battle for you today in our Versus series. Flight of Passage versus Soarin. On one team, we have Nikki, Flight of Passage.
Yes.
On the other side, we've got Rick's Flix with Soarin. Which side are you guys gonna land on today? Let's go find out. But before we begin, we publish theme park videos on this channel all the time. So hit that subscribe button and that bell notification button so you'll know when another video is ready for you to view. Round one is queue theming.
Yes.
Flight of Passage, talk about that, Nikki.
All right, so when you first enter, you go through the caves and you see the old, the beginning stages of when the Nazi and the Banshees unite. So, and it's all in the cave drawings. Then you enter into like this RDA complex where you see the creation of the avatars and things like that.
That's very cool.
Yeah. And then it leads into where you're aligned with your own avatar, which in the pre-show part of it was
the pre-show
phenomenal.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it's
that's where they like scan us for like parasites and stuff.
Exactly.
We have to scan you for Pandoran microparasites. All right, everyone, stay on your number and move your arms a bit. Okay, start scan. You've all got them. But don't worry, they're very common around these parts. Let's start the decon.
Initiating GMR decon.
Stay still over your number, you're not going to feel a thing. You're doing great. Almost done, guys.
They're all clear.
And it's kind of funny and quirky and cute, and so I really enjoyed that part too.
So the whole queue here is amazing and very immersive.
Yes.
From outside to inside to the pre-show, you can't beat it.
Yes.
Okay, Nikki, let me tell you about the Soarin queue. Okay, all good stuff over there in Pandora for Flight of Passage, an excellent queue. But Soarin, it's like you're walking through an airport. It do not get more fun than that, does it?
Okay.
All right. So, yeah, the theming of the queue in Soarin, you know, I agree. Not that exciting. It is like you're walking through an airport.
It is.
And maybe, I don't know what they could do with it, because that's kind of the, you know, what you're doing is you're kind of going to an airport to soar around the world. I don't know what else they could do. But, I mean, can I really talk too much about the queue of Soarin? No. Pretty plain, pretty pedestrian. It's like an airport. Well, that's all we can say about it. So let's just move on.
Okay.
The winner of round one is the Flight of Passage. Point to Flight of Passage. So round two is ride availability.
Yep.
Flight of Passage, what are we talking about with fast passes, Nikki?
Virtually impossible.
Hard to get.
Very, very challenging to get.
Especially if you're only like in a 30-day window. Pretty hard to get. And what about standby times for the Flight of Passage?
It's usually between 100 and 120 minutes. I mean, average.
Average, I think the average is higher than that.
Really? You think so?
Yeah, I mean, it's short right now at 105. I always see it like 300 minutes. So the ride availability of Flight of Passage, not too good. Does not score high. Now, Soarin is a little older. It was first opened in what, 2005?
Yes.
And then updated in 2016. So it's a little older. The availability is a little more accessible.
Yeah.
The standby wait times are not as long. Easier to get a fast pass, right?
Yes, it is.
So if you want to hop on one of the rides, definitely Soarin is going to beat the Flight of Passage. Round two, yes, a point for Soarin. Round three, emotional impact of the ride.
Yes.
Nikki, we'll let Flight of Passage go first.
Oh, ladies first?
Yes.
I swear when I get off that ride, I feel like it's such a beautiful, wonderful life. Like it kind of re-energizes the beauty of life. So I would say that the whole ride itself evokes that.
Okay, so you have an emotional impact to these fake characters. These made-up characters, this made-up world. Okay, well let me tell you.
It's the beauty of life, okay? It's gorgeous in there. The sights, the sounds, the smells, it's just amazing.
Okay, well let me move on to the emotional impact of the real world. Despite whatever you said about your emotional impact of that fake world, those fake beings, I believe the emotional impact of Soarin' clearly is greater than Flight of Passage. I mean, this is what mankind has done over not just years, over centuries. The pyramids, the Taj Mahal, I mean, oh my, the Eiffel Tower.
Yep.
I mean, the emotional impact for me, flying over those great man-made wonders.
Wonders of the world.
I mean, that's for real stuff. I mean, this is not made up from James Cameron, okay? This is made up from all of human being, okay?
Yep.
So, as far as emotional impact, I've got to say, Soarin' is going to defeat the Flight of Passage. Ooh. And with that, it gets the point and takes a 2-to-1 lead. Ha! Round 4, the ride vehicle. Now they're both very similar in that they're like a big screen in front of you and there's like a floating platform almost, right?
Yes.
You're kind of swinging and swaying.
Yeah.
But I'll let you go a little more in depth on the ride vehicle of Flight of Passage.
Okay, so this one is like you're strapped to a Banshee. You can feel the breathing on your knees.
I'm going to give you that. The breathing of the Banshee is so cool.
It is, and just the ride vehicle itself just feels awesome. Like you're actually like strapped in and you're sitting on it.
Yeah, holding on the reins of a Banshee.
Yes,
or
exactly.
Ecron, as the natives call them, an Ecron.
And then you have the sights and the sounds again, and the smells, and the air blowing at you, and you have to wear goggles because the air is blowing so much. And is it 3D?
Yes, this is 3D.
Yeah. So, to me, I like the ride vehicle. I think the ride vehicle is awesome. It's a unique experience.
You know what? I'm going to give you that. The ride vehicle, especially like it's so immersive, holding the reins. I mean, the breathing, that puts it over the top.
It does.
Because you feel the animal breathing beneath you. Yes. So cool, so cool.
Yeah, incredibly clever.
Now, in general, the ride apparatus is almost the same for both rides. You know, it's like a 3 or 4 tier. I think it's just 3 tier. That's going to take you up into the air and that large like movie screen.
Yes.
So in a general sense, they're pretty much the same. Now, in the specific sense, they're way different. We've already talked about how, Flight of Passage, you're actually getting on a vehicle, like you're getting on a Banshee, an Ecron.
Yes.
Soarin', you're getting in a seat.
Yeah.
You're sitting in a seat. It's not very exciting, not very themed, not a lot to do, not a lot going on with that ride vehicle.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Specifically
the vehicle, but I mean, it does lift you up into the air, and it does have like moments
but
where you
Flight of
tilt.
Passage does the same thing.
That's true.
But the Flight of Passage, at least you're getting on, and you got the breathing of the Ecron and stuff. So it's just a plain old seat with a seat belt at Soarin'. So for a ride vehicle, clearly Flight of Passage gets the point.
Yes.
So let's do a little recap here. Round 1 was the queue theming, went to Flight of Passage.
Yes, it did.
Soarin' came back, tied it up 1-to-1 because it's more accessible. You can get on that ride a lot easier than Flight of Passage. And then emotional impact. Soarin' took the lead 2-to-1 over Flight of Passage. And then the 4th round, Flight of Passage took it, tied it up 2-to-2.
Yep, with the seating.
Yeah, the ride vehicle.
Yeah, the ride vehicle.
Yeah, way better, way more immersive than Soarin'. So, 2-to-2, what are we going to do? We know I always fall on the side of Soarin'. You fall on the side of Flight of Passage. We're going to leave it to the fans. You guys who have been following us on Instagram have voted. And the vote is in. And what's the score, Nikki?
33-67.
For who?
Flight of Passage.
Flight of Passage wins, defeating Soarin' 3-2. So close, so close. We let you fans decide that. When I knew I was going to go on the side of Soarin', you were going to fall to the Flight of Passage. Literally almost fell out of your seat, I think. So you guys,
So beautiful,
you guys have spoken. So congratulations, Flight of Passage. That question has been answered, and I will never bring it up again.
Right.
I think that's going to end it for today. We've got some bad weather coming in here at EPCOT as we were checking out Soarin'. So, I mean, that's it. I mean, the fans had their vote.
Yep.
I've got to be quiet now. Clearly, the Flight of Passage is barely better than Soarin'.
What? No.
Barely. By the fan vote only. So close, so close. And with all that being said,
Don't miss the magic, don't miss the fun.
thanks for watching Rick's Flix. And now, it's time to relax. Okay, it is time for some shout outs. Time for me to say thank you to those viewers who have donated to our coffee page. First up, Ashley, a fellow Hufflepuff. Thanks for the butterbeer. Next up, we have Allie and Wes. Thanks for supporting the channel, guys. And now, a coconut smile to Emma and Alice from Bournemouth, England. Also from the UK, Laura. Keep an eye out for me when you visit in July. And now, a coconut smile to the Williams family from Sheffield, England. And lastly, for today, Debbie, George, and Sav from Scotland.